The V tag. V is for Vermeer, and a vulture playing the violin in a vest. Vincent van Gogh. Venice. Volga, Volkswagen. Virginia Woolf. VWs. Volvo, Vauxhall, Volga. Vaccines. Vampire. Villa Pacifica. Vans. Vanishing Half. Vultures of Georgia and the Caucasus. My name is Jim. Welcome to my booktube channel about books and reading and stuff. Now we come to the 22nd letter of the alphabet, V. This will be the V tag. V is for victory. Live long and prosper. V is for Vulcan. V is also for vampire. I noticed Mark of Book Time with Elvis suggested vampire was his favourite fantasy creature. What's your favourite vampire book? I've only read 4 vampire books. I read Blood Omen 1, The Vampire Wars. I read the classic Dracula by Bram Stoker, Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice, and this one, Fever Dream by George R.R. Martin, famous for Game of Thrones. This would be my favourite vampire book. It's set in the 1850s about these vampires who own a Mississippi steamboat, and they're going up and down the tributaries of the Mississippi and the Mississippi River itself, and maybe tasting a few of their customers on the way. V is for Vintage Classic. Vintage Classic is an imprint of Penguin. What was the last vintage classic you read? For me it would be The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. A vintage classic doesn't have to be this imprint. Vintage just suggests that it's from the past and it's of high quality. With cars, vintage is from 1919 to 1930, like this vintage Bentley. What was the last book you read with a title beginning with V? For me it was Villa Pacifica. I read this back in April. It's about an eco-retreat in South America run by some expats, and at this eco-retreat they try to save endangered wildlife and trafficked wildlife, and there's lots of strange animals like a monkey and a panther, and I just love the gorgeous cover. It was an interesting story too. On BookTube, October is Victober. V for Victober. Are you reading anything for Victober? This is a celebration of all things Victorian during the month of October. I'm reading this chunker, Little Dorrit by Charles Dickens. I haven't got very far into it. Last October I read Dombey and Son. I want to read all of Dickens, all his novels. This is the 10th of the novels that I've read by Dickens, so there'll still be another 4 after this. Or 5 if you count The Mystery of Edwin Drood, which wasn't finished. V. V is for violent. What's the most violent book you've read? For me this would probably be American Psycho. I didn't like it very much, it was too violent. There's a lot of gratuitous violence all through. V is for video. Which of these alphabet videos do you like the best? The one with the most V for views is the first one, the A tag, which has got over 370 views now. V is for Vanishing Half. This is a book about passing for white in America. Have you read this book? Would you recommend it? This is on my October TBR. I haven't got to it yet. V is for vaccine. I hope you've all been vaccinated. V is for Vermeer and Van Gogh, 2 Dutch geniuses, Dutch artists. Who do you prefer? Or whose paintings do you prefer? For me, I prefer Vermeer. Vermeer of Delft. This is the guy with the pearl earring. And here we go, the needle maker. Van Gogh probably needs no introduction. I have a few places begin with V, like Venezuela, Venice, Vienna, Vanuatu, Victoria, hello Scotland now, Vancouver, in the west of Canada. You got the states of Vermont and Virginia. Have you read any books from any of these places beginning with V? I read Invisible Cities by Italo Calvino, which was about Venice. This is another book about Venice, The Thief's Guide to Venice. I haven't read this, it's on my October TBR. V is for vulture. Have you seen a vulture? This is the bearded vulture. In Georgia we can see 4 different types of vulture. There's the bearded vulture, the Egyptian vulture, the cinereous vulture and the griffon vulture. We have 4 different types. This is Vultures of Georgia and Caucasus by Alexo Gavashalishvili. V is for van. This is a VW van. Have you ever lived in a van? Or have you been watching Kit's World's Van's Life videos? I'll put a link in the show notes below. Who do I tag? Not many people begin with V, so I'll tag Vin from Revenant Reads and also Very Literary Carrie. If you like this video, you can like and subscribe below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. The V tag V is for Vermeer, and a vulture playing the violin in a vest. Vincent van Gogh, Venice.